Alright guys, I want to show you another Gshock MTG. This is, my buddy Jack sent in his MTG. This is the MTG B1000B-1A. Now when he bought this, the retail price was $900. Gshock, Casio, I mean pretty much all watches have went up in price since, this tag anyway. I think the price might be closer to like $1,000 now. I'm not 100% sure. I did find a card in the box, so Jack bought it from my buddy Mimo. So authorized dealer, all that good stuff. But this is not the first MTG I've shown on the channel, and especially even in this exact configuration, which I own one as well. So, and well, really, if you look at them, these are almost identical watches. We'll do a little more comparison here in a moment. Let's talk about the case size. For people that maybe didn't watch any of the other MTG videos, they can get all the information on this one. So case size depends on where you measure it from, but essentially if you treat it fairly like I do most of my measurements on watches, you're going to exclude the crowns and crown guards and the pushers and everything like that, and just measure the case, say from here to here, and it is only like 45 mil. This is, as far as like a Gshock watch goes, this is actually a decently sized Gshock, if that makes sense, because there are some really big ones for sure. So the lug to lug is about 55, and that's, from here to here. So that is where, some of the large part of the watch comes in. 55 mil lug to lug is pretty substantial. 50 is usually the max for a lot of people, but you can see it sharply turns down, so it's still going to wear comfortable. The thickness also is only 14.5 mil, and then you have the proprietary lug design here, so I didn't really do a lug width or anything like that. But the strap is really nice and it tapers down. I have had, two actually. I'm trying to remember how many of these I've actually had on the channel. So this might be like the 5th colorway. There are some ones with bracelets. The only one I have not had on the channel is the full, like, regular stainless steel looking metal one. Pretty much everything I've had has been darker, blackish colored with red or blue accents, something like that. So at one point, I'm sure I will get the other models in, and I look forward to that, because this is probably one of my favorite, and I've mentioned this before, I think with the current models of MTG, I think you're getting anything beyond that, you're not getting a whole lot more for your money. And I know that's subjective because you can get to the MRGs and they're just amazing. But what I mean is, even if you pay retail, say 900, 1,000, which you're going to get it less than that, then you're just getting so much in this watch. It's a Bluetooth, it's a multi-band, it's tough solar, sapphire crystal, and it has all the functions. It's using the module 5544. It's going to have lume. It's going to have a nice light, which I'll show you towards the end of the video, and just a really good looking dial overall. So you can see that those red accents are just beautiful, and you have a really nice, almost like diamond pattern to the solar panel on the back display of the dial, and then very easy to read, very legible. I have no problem with it anyway. Maybe you do, but I certainly don't. You have a nice screw down crown here. That's how you adjust a couple things. I'm not going to get into that because there's already videos out there of the 5545 or MTG adjusting it. I will scroll through real quick the options. So as I hit the mode button here, right here, you're going to see this sub dial here, which would be like your 9 o'clock. You're going to see that cycle through, and it's going to point to different things. It's the first time I'm going to hit it, it's going to go to the ST, that's your stopwatch. So you can treat it like a regular chronograph, start, stop, and reset. The next one's going to be your countdown timer, which is actually one of my favorite things to do with these watches, because the timekeeping mode is still going forward, but yet the seconds hand or chronograph hand or countdown timer hand in this case is going backwards. So it's a little trippy to see that, the counterclockwise movement of the minute hand, which you'll see move here in a moment, and then the counterclockwise movement of the seconds hand. I don't know, I get a kick out of that. So you can reset that, and then back to the sub dial, you're going to go there, which is your alarm. You can't see it, the hour hand's blocking it. That would be your alarm function. You can go ahead and set that up. I'm not going to get into that. And then you hit it again, it's going to show you your battery level. And a lot of these Bluetooth watches, especially with the squares, people are complaining that you cannot see your battery level on the watch. You have to go to the app and look there. this one shows your fuel gauge right on the watch, so it's nice. Once it shows you it real quick, it will jump over and it'll point towards W for Wednesday. So you have your date, which is the 5th of February. Then it's Wednesday, and you have your time. You can have 2 time zones. You got your 24-hour clock here, so you can keep a whole nother time zone down here, which you can see it is set at a couple hours behind what the home time is. And you can see that another little sub-dial off here to the right of it is indicating that it is in the PM. So you don't have to worry about that being a 24-hour. It's an easy to read 12-hour clock with an AM PM indicator. I personally like that. For the most part, my analog watches, none of them are in 24-hour mode. A lot of times with my digital watches, I will put them in 24-hour mode just because I enjoy it. But when it comes to analog watches, that's just the natural way of reading it as far as I'm concerned. So real quick, just because I have them both, it's kind of fun to look at the differences between these two particular models. And they're almost the same number. This one's a little bit different. I think it's a 1A dash 1A4 or something like that. I'll try to put a link in the description. But you can see it's essentially the same, except for you have the red in the center there. You have the red band, and then you have the black pillars here where it's red here. So there's just some cool subtle differences here and there overall. But like the dial layout and everything, it looks identical. Pretty sure. Well, no, the sub-dial, that's pretty trick. So that one has the red hand and that has the white hand. So other than that, I don't know. Do you guys spot any other differences? It's the only one that stood out to me. Other than that, they look really good. They look about the same. So, and then of course on, let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's about it on these. So let me pop that on the wrist so you can get a look at that. And then I'll show you size comparison next to a Gshock Square, because I think a lot of people are familiar with that. Maybe you even have a Square in your collection. There you go. The all black looks really nice. It's a nice change up versus the all red. And crazy me, I mean, I'm just a watch nut like most of you guys, and this is going to sound wacky, but I could see owning both of these, and that's just ridiculous, right? Because all it really is, other than, you know, the red on the center part of the body of the watch and the red strap versus the black, they're almost identical, but yet I could still see owning both of them. And I guess it's just that craziness, the same reason why I can own so many Squares. They're essentially the same watch, but they have a little bit different color here and there, and that just makes them different enough that I could own multiples of the same watch. So I think you could do the same thing with the MTG if you wanted to collect at that level, especially if you wanted to buy them used. I think if you are patient and good at hunting down watches, I think you can find some phenomenal used prices on these. So let me cut the lights off. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to hit it with the UV light just so we can get the full effect. We'll get the lume shot, and then I will also do the light on it. So there it is. You can see there I hit the one on the left with the UV light, obviously, and there's this one just charged with a studio light. So yeah, it pumped it up a little bit, but it's still really good. And then if you hit the light, boom, it lights up the whole thing, almost like a little mini flashlight on your wrist. So there you go, guys. Big thanks to Jack for sending that guy in, and thanks for watching. I will catch you on the next video.